The forest held its breath. It knew her, this girl wolf. Sarah, eyes of glacier blue, hair like sparkling moonlight. She was smaller than the others, more compact. But the wildness? That pulsed in her veins like a car. Her laugh echoed through the ancient trees, a symphony of freedom. She ran with her pack, a blur of blue-black fur and snapping teeth. But Sarah, she always strayed. Curiosity, a thirst for the hum-blood, these were her constant companions. One crisp night the scent hit her, strange, musky, unlike anything she'd ever encountered. It pulled her away, deeper into the forest, towards a destiny she couldn't have imagined. The air grew heavy, humid, the scent intensified, a mixture of earth and something else, something ancient and reptilian like a human body. Sarah's senses were on high alert, a thrill coursing through her. She was nearing the source. Little did she know, her life was about to change forever. A clearing opened up before her, bathed in moonlight. In the center, a sight that stopped Sarah in her tracks. A group of figures, tall and lean, their bodies covered in scales that shimmered under the moon. Some were green, purple, and gray, others a deep, earthy brown. Their eyes, golden and slitted, watched her every move. Leah had heard whispers, stories whispered around crackling fires about the serpent people, creatures of myth and legend. But these were no stories. They were real, and they were watching her with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. One among them stood taller, broader. His scales were the color of jade, catching the moonlight, and his eyes held a depth that drew Sarah in the moonlight. He moved with a sinuous grace, his gaze never leaving hers. Fear warred with fascination within her. She had stumbled into a world she never knew existed, and in that world she was utterly, terrifyingly alone. The silence stretched, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the distant cry of an owl. Sarah stood her ground, her wolfish instincts urging her to flee, while another part of her, a spark of something new, held her captive. The serpent people made no aggressive moves, their curiosity mirroring her own. It was the leader, the jade-scaled one, who broke the tension. He spoke, his voice a low hiss that somehow, miraculously, Sarah understood. "You are different," he observed, his gaze piercing. "What brings you to our hidden valley?" Sarah swallowed, her voice a mere whisper. "Curiosity," she admitted. "And the scent, I had to see." His lips curved in a slow, almost predatory smile. It wasn't hostile, but it sent a shiver down her spine. Thus began their unlikely communication, a bridge of hesitant words and shared glances, built upon the foundation of their mutual curiosity. Days turned into weeks. Sarah, torn between her pack and this strange new world, found herself drawn back to the hidden valley again and again. The serpent people, initially wary, began to accept her presence. She learned their language, their customs, their reverence for the ancient magic that pulsed through the very earth beneath their feet. The jade-scaled leader, whose name she learned was Kai, intrigued her the most. He was a creature of contradictions, strong yet gentle, fiercely protective of his people, yet open to the world beyond their valley. Their bond deepened, blossoming into something akin to friendship, a fragile flower in the face of their vastly different worlds. But their growing closeness did not go unnoticed. Whispers followed Sarah on the wind, whispers of disapproval and fear from her own kind, and murmurs of unease from the elders of the serpent people. Tradition, the ancient laws that governed both their worlds, stood between them like an impenetrable wall. One starlit night, as Sarah and Kai sat by the waterfall, their conversation hushed and intimate, something shifted between them. The air crackled with unspoken emotions. Kai reached out, his hand hovering just above hers, his touch tentative yet filled with longing. "Sarah," he breathed, his voice rough with emotion, "you are unlike anyone I have ever known. You are everything." And in that moment, under the watchful gaze of 1,000 stars, their lips met. It was a clash of worlds, of fire and ice, of fur and scales. It was exhilarating and terrifying, and it sealed their fate. Weeks later, Sarah realized she was carrying Kai child. Joy warred with fear in her heart. A child born of two worlds, a symbol of their love, but also a challenge to the very fabric of their societies. Their secret, once whispered on the wind, was about to become an undeniable truth. News of Sarah's pregnancy spread like wildfire. Her own pack, once accepting of her eccentricities, now saw her as a threat, a violation of their sacred bloodlines. The elders of the Serpent People, steeped in tradition, viewed the unborn child as an abomination, a disruption of their ancient lineage. Sarah and Kai found themselves caught in a maelstrom of fear and anger. Their love, once a source of strength, was now a catalyst for division. Even within their own hearts, doubts whispered like venomous snakes. Could their love survive this? Could their child hope for a life free from prejudice and fear? Kai, despite the pressure from his elders and the weight of his responsibilities, refused to abandon Sarah. "Our child is a blessing," he declared, his voice unwavering. "We will face this together. Our love is stronger than any tradition." But his words, though resolute, could not completely silence the doubts that gnawed at their hearts. The tension reached a fever pitch when Sarah's pregnancy became impossible to conceal. Her pack, fueled by fear and the manipulations of a power-hungry rival, declared her an outcast and marked her for death. The Serpent People, fearing the unknown consequences of her child, retreated further into their valley, their distrust growing with each passing day. Sarah, heartbroken but resolute, refused to let fear dictate her fate. She would protect her child, even if it meant facing the combined wrath of both her world and Kai's. With a heavy heart, she fled into the wilderness, the hunt echoing behind her like a death knell. Kai, defying his elders and the ancient laws that bound him, chose love over tradition. He followed Sarah into the night, his heart a storm of conflicting emotions. He would stand by her side, even if it meant facing the combined might of both their worlds. Their love, forged in the fires of adversity, would be tested like never before. The night of the blood moon arrived, casting an eerie crimson glow over the land. It was a night of power, a night when the veil between worlds thinned, and ancient magic pulsed with renewed vigor. It was also the night Sarah's child chose to enter the world. Alone in a secluded cave sheltered from the storm raging outside, Sarah gave birth. Her cries echoed through the night, a symphony of pain and primal power. The child, a girl, was born with her father's golden eyes and a faint tracery of scales on her skin, a testament to the unique union from which she sprang. Outside, the hunt reached its climax. Sarah's former pack surrounded the cave, their eyes burning with hatred and fear. Kai, arriving just as the first blow was about to be struck, roared his defiance, his voice shaking the very foundations of the mountains. The battle was joined, a maelstrom of fur and scales, teeth and claws, illuminated by the blood-red moon. Sarah, hearing the sounds of battle outside, felt a surge of protectiveness so fierce it eclipsed even the pain of childbirth. She was a mother now, and woe betide anyone who dared threaten her child. With a growl that shook the cave, she rose to her feet, her eyes blazing with primal fury. Emerging from the cave, Sarah became a whirlwind of teeth and claws, her wolf form larger and more ferocious than ever before. The sight of their former packmate, transformed by rage and motherhood, gave her pursuers pause. But fear, once unleashed, is a difficult beast to control. Kai, locked in a deadly dance with Sarah's former alpha, saw her emerge and let out a roar of both warning and pride. He knew then that their lives would never be the same, but he also knew that their love, their family, would weather any storm. The battle raged on, a desperate struggle for survival and acceptance, a testament to the enduring power of love in a world determined to tear it apart. The battle raged through the night, a maelstrom of primal fury and desperate hope. Sarah, fueled by a mother's love, fought with a ferocity that surprised even her, while Kai, his loyalty unwavering, defended their right to exist as a family. As dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of hope and new beginnings, the tide began to turn. The sight of Sarah, wounded but unbroken, cradling her newborn daughter, sparked something akin to shame in the eyes of some of her pursuers. The relentless courage of Ki, his willingness to fight for his family despite the traditions that bound him, gave others pause. Slowly, hesitantly, the weapons began to lower. The bloodshed ceased. The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken words, with the weight of generations of prejudice and fear. But in that silence, a new understanding began to dawn. A single tear rolled down Sarah's cheek, a tear not of sorrow but of relief and hope. Perhaps, just perhaps, change was possible. The road ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges. The scars of the past ran deep, both within Sarah and Kai's hearts and in the fabric of their societies. But they had each other, and they had their daughter, a symbol of their love and a testament to the possibility of bridging even the widest of divides. Sarah's pack, their eyes open to the folly of their prejudice, offered a tentative acceptance. The elders of the Serpent People, witnessing the unwavering devotion of Kai and the undeniable proof of Sarah's love, began to question the wisdom of their ancient laws. Change, slow and often painful, began to ripple through both their worlds. Sarah and Kai, their bond forged in the fires of adversity, raised their daughter with love and understanding, teaching her to embrace both her wolfish and serpentine heritage. Their story, once whispered in hushed tones, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of love to overcome even the most deeply ingrained prejudices. For in the end, it is not our differences that define us, but the love we share and the bonds that unite us forever intertwined.